champion added to the global ban.
Yes, it's Mel. We're not going to necessarily go into exactly why she has been removed, but there's a bit of a bug, and no one's going to be playing Mel. Guess what? They weren't going to be playing Mel anyway. So I actually asked when I got told that she's globally banned, I was like, are we even going to say anything? Because I don't think it's going to change what's going to happen. Yeah. But we're going to be honest about it because that's what we're about. We're about manipulating stats in our favor and honesty.
When it's on the graphic, I feel like you have to mention it because people will be wondering. They'll be like, hey.
Well, exactly. Now we've drawn attention.
What did Mel do?
Well, what didn't she do based on what the bug is? You could probably go Google it and figure it out yourselves, but it's not something we're going to go into right now. The PVV probably going to be coming through here, although the Vi ban has been seen less and less as we've gotten deeper into the patch.
Also, we do have the Talia ban, and so heavy bans towards closer. This is setting up for an Azir first pick, and we know Azir, one of Victor's most played. I would actually sacrifice the Vi ban and ban Azir away from Victor 100%. Here.
We haven't been seeing the Vi first picks really work out all that well, especially when Wukong exists.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. So we'll see what they opt to go for if they follow that line of thinking, because it definitely feels like BNK FairX is setting up for that Azir.
Yep. One thing that I will say, though, is the Xin Zhao is going to be the ban.
Very different direction, I feel.
Kind of crazy. Croco was one of the guys that made the Vi work. Even into the Wukong, right? We saw that they were able to just, I mean, the Croco closer combination, the CCC, as it were, is just very, very good. So they made it work. But let's see what the bros do have planned here. I think like a Rumble Wukong wouldn't be too bad. Gwen Wukong could be fine as well. I think Wukong probably needs to be snapped up, though.
I mean, a situation like this was so telegraphed. They clearly opted into this. It is fearless, so they're getting Vikler's Azir out the way, and they're thinking, we're okay to give that over. What can we get in return that's worth it? They do opt for the Gwen, and then they go for that Vi. Does set up potentially for maybe like a Rumble Wukong on the other side. Rumble, the remaining pick that's really good into the Gwen. We've already had the Aurora taken away, so we're not going to see that. Wukong, that last top-tier jungler, and obviously that team fighting power of the Rumble Wukong really strong, so they are just going to pick that up together. I kind of wonder what they are going to go for in the mid lane, though, into that Azir. And it looks like it's going to be the Ahri. Yeah, Ahri Vi coming through. So top side picked up completely for both teams. Now getting in the second rotation.
This is a little bit on the bro side of things, a bit of a, we like what we have. Let's ignore what's happening on the other side of the rift. Because, like, Rumble is by far and away, probably, I would say, Clear's best champion. Vikla, like you say, has been favoring the Azir. Wukong's the best jungler on the patch. I think BNK would have blind picked this if you gave them the opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit rough. As the Rakan, actually something that would have worked relatively well for the bros, but not into the BNK composition. And so that's probably why they're going to be taking that one away. I think angling for a bit of an R for Alistair, perhaps.
Rakan with Wukong is so OP. I feel like it's so difficult to deal with. The Alistair ban comes out from Bro, actually, so not wanting to lean on that as like the R4 Alistair we often see. I wonder what we're gonna get from...
Oh, it's a Nico angle.
BNK FairX. Yeah, Nico could be a good ban. Senna, sometimes we've seen the Senna priority kind of fall off, but sometimes we could see that picked up as long-range pick, but I think it's dangerous into the Wukong without having the information available. Even something like a Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa could be a really good pick for Bro in this situation.
Yeah, they also don't need to pick the Kai'Sa now. In fact, Kai'Sa's a bit awkward. It would have to be played pretty full AD with the fact that both of these teams currently have a lot of magic damage. The Lucian currently being hovered here for hype, though. I really feel like it's a Nico angle. I just feel like Nico is so incredibly powerful. Fits in so many of these compositions. But it will be the Lucian that'll be locked in here for hype.
And I think, honestly, for BNK FairX, you have the Azir. You're playing into quite a short-range dive-focused composition for Bro. I feel like you can just play something where, you know, as long as you're able to play safe, as long as you're able to sort of disengage, you're going to be comfortable. They end up going for that Sivir. So, you know, you're going to have threats coming at you. If you can kite backwards, you know, you have the disruption of the Rumble Wukong, you're going to be in a pretty good spot.
Sivir Karma would actually be kind of fine, but instead they pick away the Braum.
They actually deny the Braum. And then, you know, it's a bit of a risky one because we'll see what Bro end up going for. You know, you can't really go for one of these typical engage supports, and also the Rakam, which is a common option into the Braum, isn't available.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what they really would want to pair. I mean, the Nami is something that you could, in theory, do. The Rel is there, but doesn't feel that great.
Feels like it's a pick for the rest of the composition, not for the lane.
Yeah, I think the Braum takeaway honestly working out pretty well for BNK FearX. And right now, you know, threats are going to come in. They're going to be short-ranged. You have this great ability for this composition to kite back and just anytime a threat comes at you, you just apply the Braum passive, stun them up. You have so many auto-attackers on your team who can stack it up quickly. I think BNK FearX pretty happy with what they got. A lot of picks with a lot of strength. And it's not to say Bro don't have tools, right? They have the RE Vi, they have the reset potential, they have, you know, the Gwen can be a lot of power, but I think the Lucian Rel doesn't really inspire too much joy. And we've seen the Sivir do so much work if we get to the later stages, and I really think Sivir Braum into Lucian Rel, you're going to be pretty comfortable in the laning phase.
Yep, Sivir Azir has just been running amok here in the LCK for this season.
It should be a duo.
Yep, and honestly, it has been very strong for a great many years on and off. So it's not exactly something that's new. The good old on the hunt means that also their lack of engage doesn't necessarily matter as much, especially if they can get to the objectives that they're looking for before their opposition. Because like you say, kite back going to be the way here, playing around the Azir wall, allowing Sivir to get those ricochets in against a relatively short-range composition of what Bro has put together. I think the Bro's definitely going to have to play above their comp's expectations in this one if they do want to pick up a win, but it is a powerful duo on a powerful mid-jungle combo. See how it goes. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. BNK FearX taking on the Bros. And no, if you're just tuning in right now, at which point I would say, wow, amazing timing, you know, right as we get onto the Rift. But if you are, no, it's not blind pick. No, this is in fact, that was still a draft. We're still playing Fearless. You're not going to see these champions in game number 2. The BNK FearX composition, yes, indeed, just managed to get through. And they decided that they would just play it because there it was. It's pretty impressive. Let's see whether the Bros can fight against it here. Morgan taking the exhaust on his Gwen this time around. It is a playable matchup into the Rumble, you could say, but something that Clear has been able to navigate in the past. Both of the junglers looking for level 6. You know, got a bit more scaling on Vicla's side. Closer probably wanting to put on a bit of extra pressure early. And we'll have to have a look at what the bottom lane is going to do to allow Bro to get any of these leads that their composition desperately needs.
Yeah, I think proactivity from Croco is going to be really important. And he has been such a shining star for Bro to join the lineup. But it's also a little bit risky in those... Oh,
this is kind of working out here as Diablo taking a fair bit of damage. Hype trying to throw as much into him as possible. Now Kellen taking a little bit back, but you can see Diablo just going to be eating that potion and getting himself back in order. I like the aggression from the Bros. Doesn't necessarily work out, though, the way that they really wanted it to.
I think pretty good, to be honest. They got the heal from Kellen.
Oh, they didn't actually invest anything. I thought that it was a heal back, as there's a flash forward. Diablo going to have to flash to get out of the way, but Hype is right behind him. One more auto will do it, but there is the barrier, and that saves Diablo's life. Kellen puts up the door, but still, BNK FearX are going to get pushed out of the lane. Great aggression here by the Bros early.
Yeah, good threat coming in from the Bro bot lane. I think a little bit disrespectful. Diablo getting hit by the CC from the Rel level 1. Really put them on the back foot. And
there's a lot of flashes missing in this lane as well. It's only Kellen that has his up and available.
Yeah, that insta punish that came through. But the barrier, the patience from Diablo just keep him alive.
Scary stuff here for BNK FearX, but not end of the world by any means. Going to need a follow-up here from the Bros to make something happen as Clear doing his best to take down the wave. Morgan with a 2 CS lead when the waves do reset. But I think see how the Gwen can go.
This is what you need to do when you have a Lucian lane like this. You really need to be punishing and finding these windows to punish the Sivir, especially level 1 before the spell shield was available, and then finding that angle level 2, force the spell shield with the W from Rel, and then the Q force the flash. Trying to put Diablo on the back foot before he can just sit there and wave clear endlessly.
Yep. It's very, very important. Now has himself a longsword lead as well, as Hype got the pretty comfortable back timer. Crocker going to be starting on the Shellfish at the same time as Raptor. Both of these junglers wanting to race to level 6 as quickly as possible, although you could say that Vi probably a little bit more adept at ganking earlier on than a Wukong is, but both of them probably just wanting to beeline it. And speaking of which, Raptor is in fact the one that shows his face first.
He gets a little bit of poke on a hype, but does give over the information of where he is.
All right, so we're not too worried, are we, about like how things are going right now? We need the Bros to control the mid game, right? If they want to stay in this one, and if it gets later and BNK FearX don't have a huge deficit to overcome, then it's going to be real smooth sailing.
I think it's even if it gets late and the game is even. I mean, it definitely gets harder, but it's still not completely unplayable because you have like the Gwen as some insurance, and you know when you have this composition. Oh, no.
We are going aggressive here as Polo and Crocker going after Diablo. He is flashless, as we know. Polo chasing after them. Hype will be able to catch up, and there is the first blood going over to the Vi, quickly followed by a second. Crocco's Vi, man, he is just built differently.
And this is just such an obvious flub from BNK FearX because, you know, they had the cover from their jungler on the bot side of the map. And then Raptor resets, and what does he do? He goes to his top side. And you could see that the junglers were mirrored. It was super obvious, super telegraphed. Where is Crocco going to be after his reset? He's going to be coming down to the bot side of the map. And they overextend so heavily, you're down summoners. There's no reason for you to be in that position. It's one of these scenarios where, yes, getting vision down is nice, but look where they're positioned. You don't need a ward there to know where Crocco's going to be. And with no flash, like, Devil does everything he can. He gets a spell shield, he gets a sidestep, but you're that overextended without a flash, you're dead.
They must have just got the timing messed up, right? They must have thought that he's on his way there, so they wanted to get as much defensive vision down. But he was already there and killed them instead.
I think it's just so greedy. Like, the fact they already had that control ward and then he went for the ward over the wall, it's just... I think part of League of Legends is, you know, you have to, like, use... You don't have to always have vision of someone to have an idea of where they are. And I mean, I know these players know this, but it just felt like they were like, let's get a ward down, let's get 100% confirmation, get the camp timing. And it just cost them so much. Those 2 kills for Crocco are so meaningful. Puts the bot lane a little bit more behind, not too much, but a big lead for the Vi makes so much of a difference.
Yep, there is a nice Shattering Strike here as Clear taking a lot of damage, actually. He is going to look to go back anyway. Does have teleport up and available, so it's not end of the world for the Rumble. Still, message received as Morgan catches this wave underneath his turret. And the Bros off to a great start. 800 gold going to be the lead here as that lane swap has come on through. But the first Drake is going to go the way of BNK FearX. Takes a little while for Raptor to get through the larger health bar of this Mountain Dragon. But he will be able to secure it as the Grub's going to be up in a minute 20. That's likely what the Bros are going to be playing for here, as they do have their bottom lane towards the top side. But look at this, like, Kellen having to scrounge for some minions here. This wave is going to crash, and so it should be Diablo picking up the majority of these. It's a decent amount of gold in advantage here for Hype, although 180 is not exactly the end of the world. Piercing Light going to be blocked there by the spell shield pretty nicely.
The significant thing is that Diablo and Hype are pretty even in terms of XP. Diablo's actually a little bit ahead, but Polu's like a full level ahead of Kellen, so that Rel 6 is going to be available a lot sooner, which can be really significant if we come down to a fight around... I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to be available for these Grubs, but yeah, that ultimate for the Rel could be a big difference maker when it's up and available.
Yep, level 6 has been hit by both of our junglers. The Cease and Desist and the Cyclone, both very, very important as Polo picks up a shield just so that he can take a Boomerang. Hype using his barrier to avoid Boomerang damage himself here, and you can see Diablo doesn't really care about how that early game went. He's still just relentlessly shoving this wave towards Hype and Polo.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The 2 kills didn't go over to Hype, and also this is the kind of the evolution of the Sivir Braum into this matchup. You eventually get to a point where you just shred the waves, and it's hard to find the engage windows, especially when those summoners are back up and available. But Polo is so close to that level 6 point, hasn't hit it yet though, and the Grubs are being started. Crocco here, looking for an angle to get in. Will BNK FearX just take one and leave? It looks like that's the call.
Yeah, that's what they're going to go for here. So Crocco going to come over and say, all right, well, I guess we'll take the next 2.
Yeah, Polu just hit 6. I think this is 100% the right decision.
Yep. Really smart, though, from BNK FearX to just make sure that they had that tiny window and then get out before it becomes an issue. So the Bros do manage to get the feat of strength for this, right? So it's still great news. A couple of grubs going to be really helping out the push, especially for the Gwen, but not going to be biting off more than they can chew on the B&K side, and they still get the experience from the grubs, things like that. Not too bad.
It feels like a small thing, but in these situations, the difference between like a Rel having an ultimate and with the reset potential of Bro's composition, I think it's just such a good call from B&K VODs to take that one back away, not let that opportunity happen. And, you know, they still have that Dragon in pocket. They're still feeling okay. They'll live to fight another day. They are still behind, right? And Croco is going to hit his first item spike before Raptor does. So that's a problem they'll have to deal with at a later date. But for now, still not feeling too bad about the state of the game.
Absolutely not. Going to look for a little bit of a reset here on Vision. So going to be known here by the Bros as Morgan back up towards his top side now that those grubs have been secured. And Croco going to be grabbing some more shellfish here. Man, if this is first item for the Vi, the game all of a sudden becomes very difficult. But we'll see. There it is. Okay, so Sunken Sky is done. I mean, now it's like, what can Croco do?
We had, it wasn't on Vi, it was on Xin Zhao, but we had this situation yesterday with Owner on Xin Zhao, and it was against a Wukong, and the items looked similar to this, and he just completely carried a team fight because Sundered Sky is just so broken in these early fights. I mean, it's just broken in general, particularly in these early fights. If you're the only person with an item, or everyone else has one item and yours is Sundered Sky, you're so strong.
Well, we're going to see it now as Kellen is going to go on a journey with the Vi, which is suboptimal. Croco is now going to discover Diablo as the stun does come down. Croco could be in a lot of trouble here. Does need to auto-attack something to keep himself safe. Does just do a little Volt Breaker to get himself out as there's a nice charm onto Vikla. And the Spirit Rush is still used. So Croco will survive. Did that thing where he felt like extraordinarily strong and then died because of it almost?
Yeah, I think Croco heard my words and was like, hey, I'm so strong.
I think Ona literally did that in the last game as well.
Yeah, but Ona, you know, I think pulled off in a different way in the team fight and had multiple targets to hit. Croco just tried to punch a Braum to death and then didn't hit him with the second Q and wasn't really in a position to ult, and also was by himself. So it didn't really pan out. He doesn't go down, though.
Compiling factors.
Yeah, a lot of compiling factors. He didn't go down, though. That's the important thing. But
there was just enough Brotax to keep him alive. There wasn't enough Brotax to make it a good play.
True.
That's what we got to. Is okay, maybe the Brotax just came in because Diablo is so close to dead. The flash goes over, the double tap, and down goes Diablo. Hype says, yeah, you remember Challenger? I do too.
And that's both summons been as well for the Sivir, just caught in an awkward reset there. Good pickup from the AD carry of Bro. Timing is not the best just because of the fact that he will have to reset here with the Dragon coming up, but I don't think B&K VODs really in position to do it and actually wrap the top side. I think they're just going to forego it completely. So end result is Croco is going to be able to take this one. So I guess timing's going to be perfectly fine.
Great ward there as well from the Bros to make sure that they know exactly what's going on. Raptor going to be walking over it here as Morgan. I mean, he can clear out the wave with the needlework and snip, snip. There they all go. So no dive going to be available here as the Winter's Bite going wide. Polo going to be able to just crash over this wall. And we're just sort of babysitting here. Bit of a supervisation situation, Orcs, as we like to say here in the LCK.
Supervisation.
Yeah. And they did definitely supervise.
Yeah, and I think just rough to... Oh, Kellen.
Kellen's going to show them the door.
He did ghost away there. But yeah, I think the dive onto Morgan, very ambitious considering his full HP with the exhaust. But now his ult's down. They do force him off and get some plates at least. But still, it feels like Bro getting a lot out of this situation. And yeah, just recalling on the ward.
Sometimes you just call window shopping.
The thing is, the turret was right there, and obviously it would have taken longer to get back to it, but I think what's worse about it is, for the fact that Raptor was going top lane, they weren't intending to contest the Dragon, it seems, you know? Maybe he changed path after his AD carry died, but I feel like recalling in that situation indicates you are rushing the recall, but I think you had the time just to go to the tower, and obviously, it's a mistake. He paid for it, good punish by Hype, but yeah, not a bit
unforced error read.
Definitely. But it was good vision setup from Bro, credit to them. Even had a deeper control ward, so wasn't really great spots for him to recall in if he wasn't under that tower specifically.
Man, a lot of crockery falling on the floor here. As Crocker comes over and just punches Kellen a little bit. He's protecting his control ward as best he can. Realized that he probably didn't have the information to take him down, especially with the jungler in mid lane right there. The Raptor now going to get engaged on here. Cease and Desist is available here for Croco, but he's taking a lot of damage. Magnus Storm to follow up. There's the Cease and Desist, and he flashes away after dealing with the monkey. Vikla just not very many options here. Did have Flash and Emperor's Divide. Didn't find a chance to use it. Just watched as the monkey goes down.
And that's just worst case scenario for BNK VRX. Because not only do they lose the fight, but they TP their top lane in, and now Morgan just gets free time with the top lane tower. So it just wins across the map for the side of Bro. And Croco with that Sundered Sky. You saw how low his health was. Definitely felt like that healing must have saved him there.
Man, the Bros really playing well in this particular game. Even Morgan benefiting from that one, so his threat in the side lane is going to be really worrisome. Let's have a look at this one more time. Croco goes in. It was a decent amount of damage to start things off here, as Croco did take a fair bit. This Magnus Storm was just so helpful, though.
I don't even think it was a Sundered Sky proc that saved him, because I think he was full when he actually hit it. But the backup was so much quicker from Bro. It felt so delayed from BNK VRX, which is why it felt like such a weird pick to attempt in that situation. But it was a good turnaround from Bro. And I think BNK VRX just got a little bit bloodthirsty, and they did pay for it dearly. And now, 2,200 gold ahead for Bro. They feel like they're in such a good position.
This is fantastic. They do need to keep stacking these dragons. It's going to be an Infernal Soul this game as well. My goodness, high-value dragons in this game.
I mean, that comp is just so momentum-based that once you get ahead, it feels so easy to keep forcing and keep finding angles. Also, the thing with Sivir is that, you know, into the Vi, you can smite on the way in with the ultimate to proc the spell shield, so it's kind of hard to feel safe into it. Oh, the Raptor's going to save. You know, Raptor's not here, but the Raptors will save Arrow.
Raptor really multitasking here as the clone is going to get charmed.
What a team player.
Yep, beautifully done.
Blocks the culling, blocks the charm, you know.
Oh, that Orb of Deception starting to do some damage here. Malignant's done here for closer. One item spikes kind of for everyone. As Morgan finishes his Riftmaker relatively recently. Essence Reaver done here for hype as well. Look for that item number 2. But this should be first turret. Going over to the Bros. They already have the feats of strength. As it's 4-0 on the kill score. 1 grub and 1 dragon. That's what BNK VRX have been able to pick up so far in this game. The Bros really just playing with that extra tempo that they were able to pick up. It's working out very, very well.
Yeah, Dragon in a minute. And this is where it kind of gets difficult. I think, honestly, for BNK VRX, it's much of a deficit this early. I think maybe just give it up. Try and put your focus elsewhere. Maybe look at that top tier 1. You don't really have the setup for it in terms of vision right now, but they've actually got a lot of vision around the Dragon, but I just think you can't really contest it.
Whoa, okay, Hype is just going in. The exhaust does come down onto the monkey. The double cyclones have come in, but there is the cease and desist, and the Wukong, absolutely nothing he can do. Clear is also just getting solo killed here in this bottom lane. They've taken down Polo, but that is all BNK are going to be able to collect as the Bros extend it to almost a 4K gold lead. And look at the Lord, man. Really laying down the law here in this bottom lane.
He's just dominating this matchup. But bear in mind, Clear, this is a pick he's typically comfortable on. This is a matchup where the Rumble, typically favored in the early levels, hasn't been able to find the momentum into the Gwen and is now getting absolutely demolished. And Raptor, it just feels like this is the second time it's happened where someone dashes in on him and he feels almost a compulsion, like I have to engage, and he just dies. They managed to trade onto the Rel, but, you know, I don't think you have to go in there.
And Morgan did the thing where he auto-attacked Clear a bunch of times and hit him with needlework every time. Every time.
Yeah, I mean, Clear just didn't even look like he didn't even try and fight him. I mean, he wasn't really going to win, but he's just like, he's so far behind in the matchup. And again, he just hasn't found any headway in this matchup. He's kind of getting dominated by Morgan. Morgan now pretty fed, not only from, you know, how the lane has gone, but also from picking up those plates, picking up the tower.
I think he was also a bit of a benefactor in the lane swap scenario as well. I feel like something went wrong as soon as that lane swap came in, and Morgan was able to navigate it a little bit better, get himself a little bit more resources. And when you're the team that doesn't have the tempo, oftentimes these lane swaps can really bite you. And it just felt like Clear just didn't have a place to be on the map for a few crucial minutes, and that's led him to this huge deficit that we can see. The largest in the game, to the tune of almost 2,000 gold.
And I mean, the Gwen is the biggest issue, honestly. If there's anyone on Bro who you want to be ahead, it is the Gwen. That's the insurance policy. You know, we talk about BNK FearX and how the Sivir, Azir, such a potent threat in the later stages. The Gwen is the thorn in their side that is going to really give them problems that they might not be able to deal with. And with Morgan being this fed, I don't really have an answer.
Well, the Gwen not going to be immune for now, as, okay, the Glacial Fissure doesn't really do too much of anything at all, as the Equalizer just not in the right place. They overextend as Diablo comes in, never mind, Morgan will be taken down. Empress Divide hits too, the flash from Hype was forgettable at best, and that is a triple kill for Diablo. And as we were singing the Bros' praises, they just kind of don't make it work.
Oh, Croco takes a tower hit, should be able to get an execute here, so that's at least... Oh, he actually isn't. The Leandries giving Vikla that kill as well, so an even bigger boon there for BNK FearX. We'll be able to get this bot lane tower. Will they be able to get mid as well? We'll have to see.
I mean, the gold is completely even again.
Yeah, I mean, such a huge win just when we're saying Bro have everything in their favor. Someone must have stopped funneling the Bro tax, because Morgan steps into 3. And this is a little bit messy, a little bit scrappy. Like, the ult from the Braum is kind of a disrupting one. The Equalizer completely whiffs, but Diablo comes into the flank, cuts him off with the Q, and then cleans up with the auto. And then it's the Braum passive just being applied, allows his cleanup to come in.
And there was no Ahri the whole time.
Yep. Closer not there. And again, a lot of the momentum in the fights is around. Well, obviously the Gwen has so much power, who just didn't get to do anything there. But the Ahri getting the resets.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's what we said as well, Vikla.
Oh, again.
Pretty good.
I mean, this game just went from feeling kind of doomed to being in such a fantastic spot. And, you know, that lead on the Gwen, 1.7k, you now have that lead on the Sivir in return.
All right, the Bros set up once again as Otacon is going to be the prize here. And let's just see. 2 minutes on the Dragon as well. Going to be another important one as Polo looking to clear out some vision. Croco and Closer, they need to stay together. That's going to be the difference maker in the next fight, is whether this Ahri can actually turn the tides, because they really did feel when he wasn't there.
I think a big thing is the fact that they have the Braum as well, is that when the Vi goes in on target, Braum can kind of jump in, block the follow-up from like a culling or from like a charm or the Ahri or the deception as well. So I think it does kind of disrupt a bit, just delay that potential to one-shot a target, which is pretty important. So if Kellen's sharp on blocking that, it can make a big difference. They are leaning towards Yadakan, trying to get some setup there. With it being on the side of the Dragon as well, it means it's kind of comfy because you set up vision around the Yadakan and it kind of bleeds into the Dragon as well, so there's no downside to it. But you can see how different the game now feels, how confident BNK FearX are with this newfound pressure.
They've got 2 items as well on their main carries. And the Infinity Edge going to be a really important one here for Diablo. They really do need to deal with these threats. Both him and Vikla starting to really hurt as Riftmaker and the Leandri. So deceptively tanky in a longer fight here is Vikla as well with this Azir build. But look at Morgan on a flank angle. Might be able to catch Clear out of position as he is going to be rotating down. They have the information, I'm pretty sure, of where this Rumble is. But BNK starting to feel more and more comfortable. Otacon, they know that it's been started. Morgan going to be clearing out vision on this flank. The Rumble, I think, is still there, ready to spot him. And as we can see, he absolutely is. But Raptor is getting lower and lower. Harpoons are coming in, and Clear has to throw down the Equalizer, but it's in the wrong spot. He just misread the play completely. The Magnus Storm is decent. The Rel does still go down, but Diablo is going to follow suit. And this is what happens when the Scissors are left to run amok. As BNK, they do have to back away. It is actually a 2-for-1 trade in BNK's favor, even if it did still feel like the Bros had a decent fight out of it. Morgan still wanting to play this one as best he can, as the Orb of Deception doing a fair bit of work, but the Bros still going to be backing away here. As Clear, back in once again. I don't know how they didn't win that a whole lot better.
Yeah, managing to take out the Sivir was significant, but Vikla still so strong, so healthy, pumping damage out. Such a big factor there.
Let's have a look at it one more time.
Play, yeah, so Raptor pretty low. They do focus initially onto Clear here. If he's able to get the splash out, a lot of focus comes on a Raptor. they turn here, and this great shuffle from Vikla. The bot lane gets instantly deleted. Yes, we do see Diable go down as well, but this Azir turret kind of saves him, allows him to disengage, and the Vikla's still so healthy, level 15. He's such a threat that they just didn't really have the tools to approach, and now we get them opening up again. Importantly, the Sivir still has Flash, so that's something to note. Still available for this point. Guys, stop starting. You get shredded. Your resistances get so low, and they just keep starting the Anakan. I feel like it's such a dangerous move to go for.
And the rest of the bros are back here once again. If at first you don't succeed, let's try for it again. Clear once again is in exactly the same position, puts the equalizer in exactly the same position, and Morgan, he goes in, but this time there's no one else there, and he's just eradicated. Closer doesn't find the charm, and there goes the Anakan over to B&K. This game, I mean, the tempo vibes have just completely changed.
Big shift to the tempo vibes. You see Closer fishing, not going to find an angle, though. The Dragon is going to be secured as well. B&K Fearex managed to navigate both the Anakan and the Dragon. Playing with fire, but they managed not to get burnt, and now they have a gold lead for the first time in a long time. You see this approach here, and Morgan just ends up essentially face-checking Kellen, and then it's that Braum passive being applied. Everyone just moves into the Shroud, applies the stun. The support doesn't really come in from the rest of the team. They're cautious on approaching because of the threat from this Azir. And it just felt like it was one man approaching, the rest of the team watching.
Yeah, it was super weird as well.
Supervisation from the rest of the team?
A little bit of, yeah. It's more like just being a spectator, though. There is a slight difference between supervisation and spectating.
Spectatorization?
Spectatization-ing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk to our observers, because they're the professionals. They probably know the right word. Maybe it's just observing. That could be it. But I think that the bros need to try a different tactic, which is not throw Morgan in by himself, because I think they need to actually challenge the door. The door has been put up, and then they've thrown everything into it. And instead, I think that Morgan needs to come in a little bit later, after maybe Croco has gone in alongside Closer looking for these picks or something like that, so that this Gwen can actually get some value.
If Morgan's on a flank and Polo and Croco are leading the charge, I feel like that is the slam dunk. That is the angle you want to find. This just walk the Gwen in on the front line, consistently failing.
Yeah.
Or bro, so...
Level 15 for Diable as well. 3 items now completed. This Sivir is so scary.
Yeah.
Hype trying to walk up, but it's starting to get more and more illegal to do so as this game goes on. B&K now with their eyes on the Baron. It's been spawned for about a minute. They do have full vision of the area. Closer coming over here, and the bros, remember, they get picks really, really effectively if B&K find themselves out of position. I think B&K still needs to be very vigilant with their positioning in this game, but so far in this mid to late game, they absolutely have been.
Yeah, they haven't really given any major opportunities. Since they got that big swing, it's just been those bigger fights, and sure, there've been some punchback from Bro, but it was such a momentum turn, and now they're just trying to establish control around the Baron. Infinity Edge does get picked up from Hype, so he's going to be pumping a lot of damage, but still behind quite significantly compared to the Sivir.
Yeah, it's kind of massive.
And I think B&K Fearex aren't really in a rush right now with this game.
And you can see that's kind of been how they've been playing as well. You know, although I guess they did start Otacon like 3 times in a row, but they had the better position. They were ready for the turn, and they made it happen. Still, it's not over. It's 300 gold. We're even on Dragons. Like you said, it'll get harder. It won't be impossible to win even in an even game state. My issue is the tempo vibes, though, man. It really just feels like the bros have kind of lost the plot, and we know the bros are a team very good at having an early to mid-game plan.
I mean, we know
then things tend to go wrong.
Tempo vibes are expensive.
They are.
They cost a lot of Rotax.
They do. And right now I can see 1.
No way.
Yeah. Smacky,
1?
Smacky 20 in the chat with some bro tax being applied. That's it. That's all I could see. And look, we appreciate it, but we're going to need more than that.
I don't want to play the blame game, you know. I hate to be the guy.
It's not Smacky 20's fault.
Well, it's obviously not Smacky 20, but you know, I don't want to be the... Come on, guys.
Yeah, we just need a little bit more. 3 items are now completed there for Closer. Thanks, Smacky 20, for that one. You can't make donations for every single one of the players, though. So there's only one 3-item spike that we're able to hit at this point in time. As we have a 500 gold lead for B&K FureX. Dragon going to be coming up in 1 minute. The Baron's still there. The Bros still able to get out and get vision down. So they're not completely locked out of the map yet. But look at this. Diablo, now with 3.5 items, is able to shove these waves so comfortably. Level 16 for Morgan. That could be a big deal. He's also got his arm guard now completed to augment the Zhonya's that Closer now has. And okay, that's the purple chat that I was looking for. Thank you so much, guys. That's what we needed to see. And I think now we're almost guaranteed. Like, look, see? Gold lead is just evaporated.
Yep,
that's what purple text can do. That's the power of the purple text.
We just got to teleport, Yeah,
there we go. That summoner just wouldn't have been available. They didn't have it.
Upgraded blue boots for Closer.
Oh my
All
goodness.
these things coming in.
The feat of strength really is Brotax, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and
are we trading Soul Point for Baron? Is that the play?
That might be... They don't have Morgan, which is a lot of DPS. He's kind of off to the side.
It might be something that they do want to look towards. Does B&K also have infinite wave clear? So it does make things a little difficult. As all right, Closer going for it here. Over Deception finding something as the door is now on cooldown. Another equalizer is awkward as heck. And it looks like the disengage. They're going to say thank you for the cooldowns. And now we're going to move over towards the Baron ourselves. Oh, Charm goes barely wide as now Clear is looking for an angle. Actually gets a lot of damage down onto Closer here. He's going to have to go back, get that health bar back up to par. And that is going to deny any Baron starters. Croco he's off.
He's flanking. Yeah, that was a TP in from Closer as well before that, so he can't TP back in with HP. We're looking for Kellen.
Okay, yeah, well, they'll find Kellen. Let's see whether they can actually kill him, though, as Croco doesn't press the R button. And it is going to be the Dragon going very comfortably over to B&K. The Bros realize that it's being taken, and they are going to look to start off this Baron. This will be a fight, though, as Kellen doesn't have an opportunity to go back, as now Vikla gets a flash on top of Closer. The Charm's still going to connect, though, and Kellen, he still has the door. It's not quite enough, as now Diablo trying to find Morgan here. He goes Golden Polu with the Magnustorm. The exhaust is decent, and Polu's surviving, but the rest of his carries are not. And B&K, they turn the fight, they stop the Baron, they take the Drake, and they're looking poised to win this game.
Such a hectic fight, but the cleanup comes in from B&K FureX. Bro look for the angle, but they don't have the follow-through in the fight. Closer, he's the momentum, he's the follow-through, he needs the resets. Vikla does a great job of finding him, forcing him away. And because they don't have the Ahri resets, they get that first kill on the Braum. Morgan gets focused down. And even though they find this engage and they manage to kill the Sivir, over the wall you have the Azir hitting, you have Raptor and Clear in the mixer, and they manage to clear up the fight. And Bro, unfortunately, will fall in that fight and will lose the Baron.
It's just feeling like a bit of an uphill battle now. Bloodthirster completed here for Diablo as well. He is going to even be alive to pick up the Baron here. The only one to fall down in the last fight. And B&K just feels now like they've hit that turning point. I don't even know whether purple text will be enough to save the Bros now.
That doesn't mean you don't.
That doesn't mean stop, yeah, because there's still a game too, guys. But right now, it's feeling like this game is a bit of a struggle. Let's just say that.
They are on struggle street. I think that's clear to say.
You can see that Morgan is still ahead. And this is the thing that's kind of amazing to me, is that Clear has kind of missed every ultimate, and still they have crushed these team fights. The power of, like, the AoE damage of Sivir and Azir together.
Yeah, I also
just absurd.
The Braum's gotten so much value.
Yeah, man.
Like, the amount of time, like when Closer went in mid and he just stood there with a door and was like, yeah, I'm what? You know, that was pretty great. When Croco tried to engage onto him and he just kind of jumped away like, okay, buddy.
Yep, when Morgan goes in and then the culling was there to follow up, but then the door.
Yeah, when Kellen just walks up to Morgan and does this neat strategy of auto-attacking him. Yeah. It's so powerful.
It is. And B&K now just looking to tear up these structures from the map. This rotation towards the top side going to be unanswerable here by the Bros. That is just going to further extend this gold advantage, now to the tune of about 4,000. As the Bros are still hungry for it, still looking for an angle, an opportunity, a flank, if they can get one. As Morgan will be able to defend this turret at least momentarily, but I think it's only one more wave. Charm does come down, And the Spirit Rush will be able to get closer out to relative safety, but now it's going to be on cooldown as B&K successfully push away the Ahri. And now look to just set up once again. I mean, the Phalanx just gets put back together so comfortably here by B&K FearX.
Yeah,
And
it just
first
feels
hit
like
goes down.
they don't have the damage at the moment. It feels like it's so much effort to take down a single target. Close is trying to find a flank. They immediately just beeline him, force his ultimate just to get away. And there's not really that much they can do.
All right.
So hard to find the momentum.
Well, we are teleporting in. Got a whole bunch of pings here towards the bottom side of the map as well. B&K FearX understanding that that might be what they're trying to do. Still a minute and a half on the Dragon. Still 40 seconds left on this Baron as well. Might be an opportunity to utilize it one more time, but probably not.
I feel like they just need a pick.
Well, I think they might need like 5 in a row.
Yeah, that would do good.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Let's see. This is technically Rise Group Gaming. And that means that we never really know what to expect.
Never count them out.
Exactly. And that's never count them out on both sides of the spectrum as well.
Yeah.
Because teams can throw from any position. And teams can fight their way back from any position as well, just depending on how you frame it. And we are thankfully in the position where we can frame it whichever way we want. That's all right. It's in a turret, not long for the world. Last couple of seconds of the Baron going to be helping out there, and they do extend that gold lead to just over 5,000 with this composition that does scale so beautifully. I do want to say, I mean, after saying that Vikler has been having a rough time, he's not looking like he's having a rough time in this game. This Azir play has been fantastic so far.
I mean, he's just, if there's any pick I feel like B&K FearX would trust him on, it is the Azir. They set up such a good Azir spot for him with the bans, and Bro said, you know what? We think we can handle. No, they couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't. You know, they thought they could handle it. It's been a problem. He is so tanky. He does so much damage. Still yet to die. They're sending it now, though.
Yeah, they're going to look for it here. It's clear it's going to be flashing away. That is Infernal Soul, and that will be secured here as Cease and Assist will connect onto Diablo. Magnustorm is fantastic as well as they take down Gallen to start it up. And now the Bros have found their angle, although Vikler, he may have done it himself. Never you mind. He grabs a triple, but Morgan says, I'm the golden boy. And they grab themselves the ace.
Rise Group, baby! You can never count them out. They just throw them into the mixer. And just like that, Bro find the fight. They do lose the Infernal Soul, but initially Clear flashes in. They're all in the pit. And they find the combo onto Diablo. Kellen does get in to try and block for him, but he's just kind of trapped in this blender. Vikler comes in with a huge shuffle, but by this point, he's kind of like the last man standing. And Closer does get those resets. You know, he's able to clean up the fight as a result. Him and Morgan.
My goodness, that was very, very close. There is an inhibitor, a Nexus turret that has now bitten the dust due to the fact that they did vacate the area for a few moments. So the Bros, they win a fight, but they lose Infernal. And like, I think that even though, you know, you normally talk about aces that teams pick up as being a positive thing, it's still Infernal Soul. The Bros are unable to really get much except for, like, I think there was an inner turret that they took on the bottom side of the map. The gold lead is kind of evaporated, but it's Infernal Soul. Baron's going to be up again in 43 seconds, and I still think in an honest team fight, B&K going to be feeling pretty good. Great vault breaker there to get out of the way of the ult.
You know what that was?
What was that?
That was a pitch to the investors, right?
Got it.
They can win a team fight. They've proven to you Brotax.
Yeah, look at what Brotax can do.
Exactly. They just need a little bit more, right? There's Infernal Soul going to be team now.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more Brotax. Just a little bit more. Just a smidgen more.
Maybe the Brotax just gets you an Elder Flip. You know, like, Brotax can pay for one of those good spatulas.
By giving over Infernal Soul, we get the quicker Elder, the sooner we flip Elder, and there is nothing more Rise Group than flipping an Elder Dragon.
Oh, there absolutely is not. That's challenges, baby. That's what we're talking about. It's a really awkward position because I feel like I've called the game over for B&K like a lot in the early game, and now I've called it over for Bro, and now I just have no idea. I'm just gonna stop.
Yep.
There might be enough Brotax to get Bro the win. There might not, and that'll get B&K the win. Maybe that's gonna be the stance that I will take from now on.
Fairly confident that at some point this game will be over.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's gonna be, but we'll see.
You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that it's just never over. that we're just perpetually in this game for the rest of time.
That's just limbo. That's just where we're going to end up.
Yeah. Oh, man, if Limbo is like that, Limbo's underrated. I've seen the good place. I think we're in the good place right now.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Croco's on a flank.
Oh, God. Let's see whether he...
Wait, they're really far. This goes down so fast.
Yeah. We can't be wasting time here, gentlemen.
Croco, where are you going?
Well, they're going to strategically give up the Baron in favor of winning the team fight when B&K think that they can walk through their jungle, but they can't. But instead, they're just going to walk into the enemy base and kill the net. Thanks for this pan over to the inhibitor that is about to just get taken by the minions. Minions don't want this to be Limbo, as they are just all going to recall. And okay, so some spectatorization, spec-potatoing here for the bros as they watch the Baron die.
Look, I think realistically, if they'd fought the Baron and lost, the game could have ended before the Elder Flip, and we wouldn't want to be denied that.
Oh, that's so true.
I think
it's a selfless give of the Baron.
In fairness, also, do have Morgan very close to a Rabadon, so
we have 6 items now for Hype as well, as he finally finished his shoes.
Nice. Let's wait for the spike. Very late shoes buy. You know,
especially when you've got feats of strength, I feel like it's a bit more valuable to buy shoes.
He's just been going Hobbit mode on the Rift. He's just been walking about with his toes out.
Sometimes that's just the way to be. You know, it makes you feel like you're on holidays, you know? Oh, dear. Well, Morgan parking himself on a little bit of a flank, as Vikler is a great target if they can lock him down. Cease and desist does come on through, but the rest of the team is here. Down to the GA does go the Vi. Now the rest of the bros are going to show up. Empress Divide, fantastic. So's the Magnet Storm though, but Closer is caught off on his own. Unable to press the R button. Now Morgan is just evaporated. And Vikler and Diablo are able to make this one work. The flash out, not going to really do anything, and I think that was the backbreaker, as B&K should be able to march up these lanes and take down the bros here in game 1.
And in the end, Morgan finishes Rabadon's after the fight, would deny the Elder Flip. They try and send it on a Vikler, but he had the Zhonya's in pocket. And we see B&K FearX will win the game. Vikler on the Azir, an absolute monster.
We miss out on the health bar of that particular Nexus turret, but that is absolutely fine. The Nexus is still going to get taken down here. And I just want to say, what a joy of a game. What an absolute joy of a game. I'm just feeling privileged to be a part of it, as B&K will be able to win the first one. But do you know what, guys? This is a 3-gamer.
Yeah,
right?
Oh no, 100%.
It has to be.
This is going to be a journey. And kind of in reference to the fact that we had a Lucian go in Hobbit mode on the Rift, this does feel a little bit like the start of a Fellowship.
Oh, yeah.
It is going to be a 3-parter, and I just can't wait, because the second film was a banger, the third film was a banger as well. So this series is undoubtedly going to have 2 follow-ups, which are going to be fantastic.
That's why best of 3 is the best.
Yeah.
Because if you get to the 4th and the 5th, which I include as like the Hobbit movies, just don't. You know, I did like the song. Liked the song in the first one.
Yeah.
You know, that they all sing in the house together.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. Plus the cast was great. Story was just a bit overextended. The Hobbits, it's just a small book, right?
Yeah, it's a tiny book.
I know. Like, it's supposed to be a play. I watched it as a puppet show.
Oh.
Absolutely incredible. But now it is time for us to take a short break. We'll probably get as much of the puppet show conversation out of the way so that we can come back fresh for the second game of this series. Going to be a break, then the space. Going to break down that joy of a game. We'll see you again soon. of it. That, Woodid, I think, is what you should be focusing on here, is that we can have even more of this level of Rise Group gameplay.
Yeah. And look, there's one thing I can always say about Woodid. He loves League of Legends.
He does.
And we're going to get a lot of League of Legends out
Oh, so much League of Legends. It's actually insane, the amount that we're going to get. Bit of a reminder, by the way, guys, as we jump into this draft, that Mel has been disabled. There's a bit of a bug. Some silly stuff is going on. You can do some further research if you would like to find out more. But we are not going to be seeing her or Yunara this time around this week. I think some Yunara will be available next week for the players to play. We'll see whether she is something that's going to creep into the meta or not, as the Scion a ban here, as Morgan getting some respect for his zombie man that he's pretty good at. Maybe the Ambessa ban was kind of telegraphing that they a little bit
for the Scion. Just the P and V, obviously the other V already taken away with that one. Xin Zhao was banned in the first draft, and that is open and available, pretty high priority. The Aurora is going to get taken away. Sorry, not the Aurora, the Talia. The Aurora and the Yone were banned. I do feel like they were kind of just a setup for the Azir. I'm interested to see what Vikla plays. Obviously, Azir was phenomenal for him, but that is taken away. One of the things with Fearless does kind of limit the ability to keep just playing Azir every game, as we know LCK players love to do.
Well, one final ban coming through here. They are certainly taking their time figuring it out. See what it is going to be, the Trundle to be taken away. So I guess Ornn stock kind of rising, which is kind of interesting, but probably not something that we're going to see first pick. What? I think the Xin probably makes the most sense, as you mentioned before, and that is going to be locked away.
Especially for Krako, you know, being so strong in the jungle. I think it's a pick you definitely want to secure for him.
And also, you'd probably like a Trundle to play into it, and as it turns out, he's not there.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of set him up in a really good position, so I'll be interested to see what BNK FearX sort of go for on the back of denying that Trundle. Maybe they were worried about the Trundle pickup coming through and feeling less comfortable on the Xin in return. But it looks like they're going to go for the Crocodile and deny that from Morgan.
That's an interesting one, because of course, Morgan, a bit of an expert when it comes to the Crocodile, knows how to defang the dinosaur. Let's see what he does elect to pick into it. The Orianna going to be taken here, maybe poised for a bit of Nocturne Orianna.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturne Orianna, also Jarvan Orianna potential as well. So kind of setting up for those junglers which are available.
The Demacian Prince in the jungle theme as well, kind of beautiful on both sides of the rift.
Yeah, a bit of a throwdown there.
Like that a lot.
Interesting if we... Oh.
That would be very... Oh, he's just going to lock it in. Okay.
Akali immediately. Not an easy... Like, it's a good target because if they do end up going the Jarvan or the Nocturne, not a great target really to go for in either sense.
Oh,
and then Poppy immediately for that level of disengage. Could go in the top lane, could go in the support roles, has that flexibility.
I really feel like it's a Morgan pick.
Would make a lot of sense.
Like to me. But let's see whether it is just going to be Nocturne, Jarvan, whichever one of these. It's probably going to be a jungler because otherwise I think the pool will get thinned out. This has been a bit of a favorite. Of course, DNF really loving the Nocturne Orianna, for better or worse. And they will lock that one away.
And now you have to kind of hedge your bets if you are going to try and ban away either support or top lane. Since you don't really know 100% where the Poppy's going, could just ban away 80 carries in the situation. I think Xayah is a good ban if you are trying to play this Nocturne Orianna.
I think Jhin also a decent ban as well. The follow-up from range going to be pretty important when you've got these champions that really do want to run forward. But you can see that BNK really putting some stock into the fact that Polo could be playing that Poppy towards the bottom side of the map. Even though Poppy, decent matchup into the Renekton, can deny some slicing and dicing. That is going to be a Nico ban. Oh man, Nico Orianna, certainly a powerful combination, so a good ban there.
Yeah, I mean, Nico Nocturne is so obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
So problematic to deal with, and also doesn't really get shut down too heavily by the Poppy. We'll see. I think the Xayah would make a lot of sense just to take away in the situation. If you are really wanting to commit to dive in that 80 carry here, they go for the Kazante instead. So they're fully thinking this is going to be a Poppy support. I'm trying to limit options for Morgan the top lane.
I think there's like a 12% chance that it's Poppy support. I don't know. Maybe Morgan just hasn't really been playing it very much. Maybe in scrims, Polo's been favoring the Poppy support a whole lot more. Not entirely sure. Maybe I'm just reading it entirely wrong. That has happened as well.
Senna and Alistar are available. Obviously, Alistar into Poppy can be a little uncomfortable, but it's still such a good pick for Kellen. I feel like you just want to pick it up.
Yep. The cowl for Kellen. He's had some great games on this. Has had some stinkers on it as well in the past, but more recently, the Alistar certainly has been very high value. Oh man, now we flex the Akali top lane and play Sylas. Let's go.
I feel like if you're committing to this Nocturne Orianna, I feel like it's so weird to let Xayah be available. Because it's just like, who now are you going to ult when this is on the enemy team? And it looks like they're not even going to go for it, which...
That would be odd.
Yeah, so committing to the Corki here, which means, well, now you're going to go for the Corki. That's the target. So, kind of exposing yourself to that one. Not even going for the Xayah. They definitely considered it, but opting. And now we got to see where the Poppy goes. Is it going to go top lane? Is it going to go support? They commit to it in the support role. Maybe specifically because the Alistar was picked up. Going for the Ornn in the top lane into the Renekton. No, Trundle gives it...
Man, this is a
Kai'Sa
time.
Yeah, Kai'Sa with his composition. Fully committing to the dive for BNK FearX.
I feel like the Bros had a lot of options to make things work really well and haven't quite managed to hit the payoff. That's where I'm kind of feeling.
Yeah, BNK FearX composition feels a lot more cohesive. They are very much around diving in, and there are some tools to make that difficult, like the Poppy and the Ornn, but also the Akali feels a little bit just kind of sprinkled in.
Yeah. And it is Closer. Like, Closer is a phenomenal Akali player. Once again, they have a very strong mid-jungle that can skirmish in the mid-game pretty comfortably. And we know what Closer and Croco can get done together. That has been the identity of almost all of these Bro drafts. But I'm still a little bit worried about where this is all going to end up. Because once again, BNK have an incredibly coherent composition, right? There is obviously the Renekton there for some of the early game power. They've got late game insurance in the Orianna and the Kai'Sa. They can do a lot of damage later on.
And both our solo laners are going to have comfortable lanes with Cryo, you know? And I feel like the bot lane will be a little bit in the back foot, but once you get to those team fights, you're just going to kill the Corki on repeat, and the rest of Bro just have to clean up the pieces.
Let's see what they're going to be able to make of this one as BNK looking to try and put the last nail in this series, get themselves a 2-0, or the Bros, and they fight back. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 2. And we are just hoping for a Bro win so we can get a third game in this glorious series. Game number 1, an absolute joy, a true treat to the eyes. And we might just get 2 more of those. At least we're guaranteed 1 more. As Croco, tuxedo skin as well. One of my favorites, although I am a bit of a commando Xin Zhao purist.
Yep.
It's an oldie, but a goodie, you know?
A lot of classic skins, pretty highly rated.
Yeah, it's quite a few of them. Spooky Nocturne being another one.
Yep.
That's like, what, 12 years old now or something like that? 13? That's a long time ago. All right, let's see how this one's going to go. Of course, the Poppy has a decent matchup into the Alistar.
Yeah, and
that's something they can do.
Just a Corki in lane.
Owie.
Does a lot of damage. Just does some powered autos with the extra 2 damage, and also things like Gatling Gun, the fast respawn early. I actually feel like that trade initially, the level 1 trade, like Dabble got a full Q onto Hype, and even then the trade was lost.
Yeah.
Kind of shows you how it goes, so.
The Gatling Gun just kind of works, does it not? As Polu picks up the shield. And yeah, Hype and Polu doing a very good job continuing the pressure. We're hoping that Polu has a few less of the whoopsies that were highlighted a little bit on the space. See whether that is going to be something that he can improve on as level 2 going to be gained. Of course, Alistar, level 1, not great. Kai'Sa, level 1, also not exactly the most power, especially given the fact that your range is quite low. And so yeah, this is kind of going as we expected. Top side of the map, clear in this early game, looking good. Ornn was always kind of okay into the Renekton, especially in years past. But you can see here, Closer is going to have to be trading a lot of his health bar in this lane to try and keep up in farm, and so far it's not quite working as Vikler is going from strength to strength as he's moved on to the Orianna.
I mean, a lot of lanes for Akali into ranged in mid are just survive, you know, play around your Shroud, wait until you get to the point where you're level 6 and you can actually threaten all ins. So Recton, I don't think you need to have too much pressure on the Ornn. You can have Prio, but you're not really going to be able to, you know, shouldn't find solo kills or really force them out of lane that effectively.
Yep.
So let's be seeing what BNK VODs can do with that pressure. Obviously, Raptor just looking to farm up to that level 6 point.
Nicely done here by Closer, actually manages to get the wave shoved in. Can go for a little bit of a reset now.
Yeah, Vikler went for that early reset for tier and TP'd back in. Had a lot of pressure prior to that, so favoring that back and giving an opportunity to Closer to get the reset.
Does only go back for one little book, so not too much going to be gained here as Raptor making his way over. A level 4 Nocturne gank. That's something. As Shroud going to go down here as Closer looking for an opportunity. Croco in this brush. They've switched off the lights.
And that actually worked out really badly because even though both Vikler and Closer lost health, Closer has a Doran Shield and a refillable potion. So, you know, even though it looked like even the amount of health that was lost, Closer's going to fare a lot better in the long run. Also has Resolve. I presume had second wind.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't, but at least has some Resolve to sort of mitigate damage. And now...
Oh, goodness me. Okay, well, Vikler's going to have to go home now.
Yeah, I mean, this has actually backfired massively. Considering you're playing Orianna into Akali, it should never look like this before 6. This is so bad for BNK VODs.
And I'd like to say that's why. Okay, never mind. We've got a heroic charge. There's the flash out from Polo immediately after he bonks his way forward. Activates the Hex Flash. And I believe they spotted Raptor, which did spell the disengage.
Well,
but
I think
still, that was wacky.
Yeah, went for the stun and realized if I stay here, Kellen will press Q and I am dead.
Yes.
And had to very quickly exit out. Didn't quite have kill pressure, but was close. Was looking for it. Trying to maintain the pressure there. Morgan doing a pretty good job of trading in this matchup. One of the advantages of Ornn is that you can just pick up a Bramble Vest without even recalling, so...
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good about the state of this lane
So
right
that's
now.
the thing. Top lane's kind of stabilized. Mid lane is somehow winning. Yeah, somehow. And bot lane gone pretty good. So, bro, overall...
God, this only gets worse as well. Level 6 hasn't even been hit yet by Closer. And Vikler is going to be stuck on his side of this lane. From probably this point onwards.
Closer nearly, he's got level 6 now.
Yep.
In fact, Raptor isn't level 6 and he's having to come babysit the lane.
Oh dear, Polo and Croco both here. Wind becomes lightning. Spell Shield does manage to block the heroic charge, but that's all the good news I can really find in that scenario as the Bros once again in the early game looking fantastic. Now going to turn that into a Drake start. As we tick over to 6 minutes, gold is incredibly even. But I feel like the Bros are poised for another good mid-game. Oh, just when is that moment going to happen, you know, where it all falls apart?
The thing
Just
is,
have to see. Maybe the Bros can avoid it this time.
the thing is as well as normally, there's a lot of mid lane matchups where if things don't go super swimmingly for the Orianna Nocturne, once you hit 6, you just do the old combo mid, you get a kill, easy going.
Yeah.
But Harley's actually kind of hard to kill.
You kind of just press W, don't you?
Yeah, and then you also have the ult as an escape. So if Raptor's first ult is mid and they don't kill Akali, the game might just be fried. So he now does have that ult available.
But instead, maybe he kills the Ornn. Or something like that. We'll just have to see.
Could be an option.
Might be something they're going to look for.
Maybe bot lane pushing pretty heavily. We'll see what he goes for.
Vikler being a little scary. Raptor going to be stealing away this blue buff. Should be able to lock this one in. We have the Grub spawning in a minute's time. And right now BNK in a pretty good position to be locking that one up with the vision that they have in the area. There is the Shockwave avoided as Closer decides to go in. He flashes for it, but doesn't land the ulti. And Raptor should be able to finish him off. There is first blood going over to the Nocturne. And sometimes it's not about the execution, it's about the result.
Yeah, good flash there from Vikler. And
Apollo could have tried to charge a Hex Flash or something, but never mind.
I think he got hit by the minions, so wasn't able to. Or maybe got hit by the Orianna. But honestly, Closer could have escaped there. Closer 100% could have gotten out there, because he had the second ult charge and flash to get away from the Nocturne. But he went for the kill. He saw blood. And then the flash from Vikla saves him.
And if Closer, I think, had have just waited a few moments on the ulti and actually like processed that the flash had come in, then maybe that was the opportunity, because he would have been away from Raptor and back on top of Vikla, but hindsight's 2020.
I think in fairness, when you have the Nocturne vision,
yeah, true,
and he's about to get feared by Raptor, I think it does pressure you in that situation, so it's harder to, you know, look at it from our perspective. But yeah, a good pickup. You know, I said if he ulted mid and Closer got away, it would have been fried. They managed to get the kill, managed to get the ultimate Hunter stack, so a good recovery from BNK FearX.
That's what we wanted to see. And they will be able to get themselves up to an 800 gold lead. That will also be the Grubs going their way, or at least two of them. They will get the majority, grab themselves the feat of strength point. So now back to the drawing board just a little bit here. For Closer on is Akali, and we know he loves this champion, right? There's a reason why we're, you know, less upset when Closer picks weird stuff, because he's just pretty good.
I love how
this
you
was
say
the
that.
Aurelia guy.
You say that as he misses the minion with a shuriken.
Yeah, you know.
He's calibrated.
We can forgive him for that. That's exactly what I meant. In fact, that proves the point, because I see that happen, I'm like, oh, you still got this.
Yeah, yeah. It was only a caster minion.
Yeah.
You know, not a big deal.
You just need to miss some of these caster minions so that you make your opponent feel like you're not as adept at the champion as you are. It's all mind games.
A little bit of false sense of security.
Yeah. As Morgan popping some brittle here, does get the knock up onto Clear, but we're just going to press Q and just say goodbye to all of the damage that he sustained. Balmy Cinder done here for Morgan, as he's just looking to burn the waves, feel good. And so far, like, this is kind of what happens to the matchup. Is all right, bit of a flash in, Shockwave fantastic there, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough to get him out of dodge. As Closer 5-point strike locks down the kill. The answer is there here for the bros. There and here. Yeah, both.
Good pickup there. Finds the angle in.
And here.
Securing that. You know, uses the flash to secure it. Knows Vikla has no flash.
All right, Morgan. Does he just? Yeah, he wants the ward.
I love how the
Not about
TP
killing that
upgrade coming in made that look like really intense, but it was just like a light trade.
Yep.
It's like, oh, something's happened. No, they're just trading over a ward.
We're going to have the replay here. It was just Crocker comes in and lands the W flash.
Yeah, it was a good ult from Vikla, honestly. He created space, but just wasn't quite enough to get away. And the fact Closer could finish it off and then ult out just guarantees safety. And kill goes over to Closer, who now has that rocket belt, so extra dash.
Yeah.
I think that's something, when I think about Akali's kid, I think, you know what?
More dash.
Needs another dash.
It's certainly going to be powerful here. As 5-point strike just to clear out these minions, throws out even more of them. Level 9, a big deal actually for the Akali, getting all the points into the queue. So feeling pretty happy with where he's sitting right now. Speaking of happy, I think Morgan is getting happier and happier. Does break down his little boulder that he threw out. What is it there on this skin? I know it's train related. Is it just like a signal post that he puts out?
Let's have a look. He'll use it. Oh, no.
We'll check it out at some point. Like, Jonas Strong really likes his skin as well, so he'll be back up there.
It is a great skin.
We could message Keyson and ask.
Some skins they do
today.
are just an absolute slam dunk.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one of them. As all right, BNK starting up a dragon here. There's the Shockwave to dive on in, but they get on top of the Xin Zhao, and Croco keeps himself so comfortable. That killer instinct is not what you want to see. As Closer gets into that backline, Vikla in a bit of trouble. They take down the Xin, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? And the answer is a little bit too much. As there is that Sundered Sky completed here for Croco. A little bit late to keep him alive in that fight, but the bros still managed to win it. And yes, signal post, very cute.
Polo did so much there. Ults away the backup that would have been able to finish the fight quicker, and also stops Diablo from getting back over the wall here. The play comes in, the ult timing is great because it stops the shockwave damage from coming in. And then that ult away, and then blocks the blast cone from getting him out. So Polo really the clutch one there. And then yes, Croco does go down in the end. Because Raptor has to commit for the play, it ends up being a favorable trade for the bros.
Nicely played. It's 2 games in a row where the early game has looked pretty clean here for the bros. 100 gold still the lead for BNK. But I think that Closer especially, look at this. It's getting harder and harder here for Vikla, as Raptor going to have to once again babysit. And we've seen a few different Orianas here in the LCK. And some of them have been great, some of them have not. This is looking a little bit more like it's leaning towards the secondary direction. It's not great for BNK Furex.
Yeah, and it's kind of night and day, because Vikla last game on the Azir,
Yeah.
so on form, and felt like he had complete control of a lot of the fights, and right now really struggling into closes, Akali. And with him being that low, you really have to just give up the...
Oh, Train going to get the flash out of clear here. Very nicely done. They do have the paranoia, but they're not going to be able to use it to stop this dragon from going down. Another Infernal Soul this game is Pulverize. Not even going to be used as... Wow! Okay.
That was a decision.
He was butchered so quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I kind of want to see it again.
yeah, well, we might. There it is. Okay, we got an instant replay as well. Here's the instant replay. Now you see him. Now you don't.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That'll do it. Didn't make the decision to ult. Kind of thought he had a bit more time.
I don't think he thought very much.
Yeah, I'm not sure he thought.
Yeah.
But maybe it was like, hey, if I go in here, maybe something can happen. And something did happen.
It did. It was not great. If he was, yeah. If his goal was to die extraordinarily quickly, nailed it.
Maybe they were like, how much damage did they do? And they're like, I'll find out.
Yeah, the damage calcs.
This much.
And now it's downloaded. Now he knows. So
Exactly.
next time he'll not be surprised. Okay. All in all, guys, probably a bad thing. That's all right here. Morgan, I think, has got back some control. However, gold lead still in favor of the Crocodile.
Yeah, he is down in farm a decent amount, but I feel like,
if you got the levels, you're a happy on.
yeah, it's obviously not optimal, but I think Morgan's still fine. This is kind of the thing, right? You don't have as much pressure in the lane, but Clear hasn't really achieved anything yet with that pressure, and you are just going to start handing out items to your teammates at some point as Morgan, so you're really fine with how things have gone.
Clear is also farming ahead of the clock right now. He's got the most CS in the game. It's a happy Crocodile. He just needs to transfer that into victory for the team, as Clear had a bit of a rough one on the Rumble, despite the W in the win-loss column. Certainly not exactly his best performance. His teleport in. Yeah, here we go. Ask and you shall receive, I guess. Heroic charge to try and get Kellen out of here. There's the paranoia. In goes Closer as well. They're looking for the angle. The train doesn't find the mark, but Croco is unkillable. And the steadfast presence stops Clear from really doing much. Now he dives in. The Dominus is cutting them up. And the Akali just kind of accidentally dies. A very awkward position there as Hype is now dashing after Kellen. He will be able to get that kill, but now where are his friends? They're all in the death chamber, and it's Vikla that's chasing down the Corki. He gets a last-second barrier, but that won't do it, and B&K find another mid-game decisive fight.
Managing to turn things around, you know, they get Clear into the fight, the Renekton presence is there, and they managed to clean up. They didn't even get much value. I feel like the Nocturne Orianna, they keep using it onto the Xin Zhao, and he just ults, so the Orianna ult doesn't actually do anything really. But just the presence of the Renekton in the mixer here, and the front line is doing so much. The Akali gets focused down so quickly, can't really do anything. Morgan gets shredded.
Oh my, Clear just did, like, the Dominus just did so much damage.
Yeah, it shreds. And Vikla and Diablo just completely untouched here.
Wow. Sometimes, you know, the early game can mean things.
Yeah.
And other times, it can mean less.
Yeah, I do say, though, need to pick better targets than Croco with that Nocturne Orianna.
True.
The Renekton, they got the value. Clear, great work, no notes, but yeah, they just keep ulting the Xin Zhao, and he just presses ult, and he takes like a little bit of damage.
I'm just going to, okay, never mind. We've got Kellen doing that thing where he's gonna die again.
Okay.
There that is. Raptor, let's see what he's going to do. Is Diablo, they are gonna close in. There is the Valkyrie out, but it's not quite going to be enough there. So Diablo now gonna be the next to go down. The Bros do manage to trade up. There's a knock up onto Vikla as well as the train has left the station. Vikla will be knocked up as Croco makes his way in, audaciously charging down this Orianna, and the Bros waste no time making themselves into the advantageous position once again.
Immediate punish comes through. You know, Kellen didn't have his ult available for the last fight, I believe, and they get a cleanup on the back of it as well. We do get the Nocturne ult onto Hype, a better target, but they managed to mess up the combo a little bit here. It feels like they're not very practiced at this, but Kellen, yeah, no ult available. Just caught wandering.
Yeah.
Team comes in to try and back up, and then Raptor realizes he's caught out. It's like, okay, let's go for hype. The ult
literally just came off cooldown as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a whiff there. Kaiser gets caught out and dies, and then Morgan's like, you know what? I'll take one more. Train's on time today, Vikla.
I mean, it's Korea. Normally, you know, very reliable as far as the train's concerned. And honestly, if they're not, there's another one coming every 2 minutes. So Morgan, I think you probably on this server get a little bit of a better cooldown reduction on your ultimate based on the public transport system. I need to check that. Might not be true. It's all right.
You know what? I'm going to choose to believe it because it sounds good.
It does sound good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that is, sometimes that's better. As okay, this dragon going down lower and lower. There's the paranoia, but out goes the cow, and in goes Croco. There's a shockwave onto 3, but there's not really very much follow-up. They're just looking to make their way out. It's Closer on the backside of this fight. Clear also getting himself set up. The killer instinct comes down. Croco stays alive for such a long time, and Clear is being such a menace, but Closer manages to find the squishies. And now he's trying to get out, but Clear is just a monster. Polu's running, and Closer gets flashed on. Down he goes, as this prehistoric monster is really starting to run away with things.
I feel like Clear is just doing so much just by existing in these fights. Just his presence, his aura is such a problem. You know, he's zoning away Closer here. The ult buys some time to finish up the dragon. That gets a lot of value here. And in this situation, Shockwave gets a decent amount of value. We end up seeing a lot of damage done to Croco. His ult time's out. Double commits in. Hype has to fly in to try and finish off the AD carry. But on the other side, look how much Clear is doing. We see Closer has to run away from him, but then he's just threatened constantly by this Renekton. And just the constant ticking damage off the Dominus, and whenever he gets on a target, just shreds them. This Renekton is at the point in the game where he's super strong, and it just feels like no one wants to be near him, and this bro comp is 4 melee champions and a Corki.
Yeah, you don't really have much choice. So they're just gonna have to try and figure out a way to deal with it. And maybe it's Morgan giving a whole bunch of items, and maybe it's getting picks. We'll just have to see. 11-11 as far as this scoreline is concerned, but look at this Otacon. B&K gonna be starting it up. The bros trying to move down to make something happen here.
Rocco's so far away, I think it's just gone.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's going to be any way for them to do anything about this. The teleport does come in, and yeah, they spot the health bar, and they're like, well, I guess it's doomed. Still, they're going to go for a fight here as there's a shockwave only onto Polu as the train comes down. They're looking to now finish off this Crocodile. He's taken down relatively low, but gets out of the fight. Kellen manages to separate Croco. I don't know whether he's exactly the prime target, but they do manage to take him down. And now Closer has to ult his way out of this fight. Does everything trying to escape, but Vikla is chasing down 2 people and winning. B&K looking fantastic. Hype might be able to kill Vikla, but I just think that B&K are looking better. Hype now wants to try and kill Kellen as well. Kellen has been dying a fair bit in this game. Trying to keep him interested at this point in time is probably a good thing.
Oh, Hype, you're in trouble.
Yeah, he's dead now, I think, guys. Clear is just going to be slicing around. Will it be a consolation? Alistair, it will not. He's just going to get baited in.
I mean, this is the second time we've seen Hype just Valkyrie in to die. Just like, I'm going to try and trade. Yeah, so they get set up on the Otacon. The ult comes in to dissuade them. And then they even manage to, on the back end, go in with it. Little bit of a whiff on the ult. Only hits Polu. He has to immediately disengage. But they're just not able to really make the way in. They focus down Clear, but they don't do enough damage.
Oh, Polu as well, missing the ulti.
And again, like, this Akali can't really find too much headway. Clear causes such a headache. Closer gets chunked out. Vic was zoning off Hype and Polu. And it just feels like Bro's composition is feeling some of the limitations, I would say.
And it's just a lack of Brotax, really. I mean, we can't be reminding everyone at all times, but
that's what it boils down to.
There's just not a lot of purple in that chat.
Guys, we try and be unbiased casters. We can't always be asking for Brotax.
Well, let's see whether some Brotax can be delivered here to save Closer's life, as there is the ulti to come through from this Nocturne. He gets underneath the turret, but it's not going to save him. Shockwave onto the Xin Zhao again, and this time it's the perfect choice. Inner turret going to be taken down, and no amount of Brotax is going to be able to repair this game. The Bros really starting to fall apart now.
Yeah, Morgan going to take this top lane tower, but in the meantime, his bot lane inhib tower is going to go down. And BNK FearX in firm control. Just feels like, you know, even though there's been some whiffs with this Orianna Nocturne combo, they know what their comp needs to do. They know how to find their way in, and they are just delivering time after time.
Yeah. As hype, we thought that maybe he was in a bit of trouble here, but everyone is just going to go back home, and so he is going to be safe. And yeah, Closer is overextended, and him and Croco just die.
The fact he has so many dashes and still dies.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're overextended.
Yeah, and he even makes it back to the turret, but honestly, it does not matter at all. That's all right. Let's see whether the bros can find some magic. There is, you know, there's a speckle, you know, there's a little bit of purple in the chat. Just don't know whether it's going to be enough.
Almost 7,000 gold lead right now. It is a massive deficit.
Yep, this is feeling so rough. As now Closer also just going to get engaged on here by Kellen. He's able to backflip his way over this wall. He's going to get him to relative safety, but this is the problem. They're not going to be able to stand up and stop this second Infernal Dragon from going over to BNK. Thankfully for the bros, they did get the first 2 dragons, and so it's not like there's any soul point on the table or anything like that, but I mean, that's consolation at best.
Yeah. Problem is as well, this is the sort of position where you kind of want to stall the game out, but Baron is up in 50 seconds, and BNK FearX have this really effective strategy. But what
Pausing
they do,
the game.
Well, what they've been doing is they go to an objective, right? They start it up.
Got it.
They start damaging the objective, and then when it gets low and the enemy team are approaching, they press Nocturnal, they turn the lights off, and they kill it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow, that does sound like it would work pretty well.
And they're probably just going to do that with Baron. I'm hedging my bets. I think that's probably going to be their strategy for the next one as well. So we'll see if they go for that. But I'm wagering with this much of an advantage, I don't think that Bro are just going to be able to hold on.
Well, we'll see whether this issue is on the Bro side of things or whether it is on the BNK side. Right now we do have refs moving on over.
Looks like it is a clear peripheral issue. That is to say, it's peripheral issue with the player clear. Not that it's clear that it's a peripheral issue.
Maybe clear has a clear peripheral and that peripheral has an issue.
So it's clear that it's a peripheral issue for clear. It looks like it's a mouse issue. So it's clear that it's a mouse issue with clear.
Yeah, no, and his peripheral was too clear, so he got just a black mouse.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, you know, see-through peripherals and stuff like that, they're cool, but they can just be a bit weird.
I'm glad we could clear that up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty clear. I didn't think that there was any confusion there at all. And so we are just going to be absolutely fine. Looks like he's got the new mouse and everything is sorted. Of course, every player does have a backup of their preferred peripherals that they like. They either bring with them or it is just stored here at Lowpark. I'm not entirely sure which, but we always do have options. All right, oh, even wired mode, interesting. Looked like he was relatively comfortable just going wireless there. But sometimes people like to just plug it in.
I think it was wireless. Maybe they didn't know the wired to connect it initially.
Ah, to try and sync it up?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Maybe.
Might have been something like that.
Maybe just have to see. In the interest of time.
Well, some BNK fans here. Pretty happy with how things are going right now. They are looking poised to deny us the third game, which I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit sad about.
Well, it ain't over yet.
It ain't.
But it is looking pretty...
Is it throwable? How, like on a scale of 1 to 10? Where's the throwability?
Like a 3 in the throwability scale. It's looking pretty low. You know, it is a Rise group game, which always ups it. We're not seeing that much purple.
What if Clear's mouse stops working and we have to unpause the game?
Well, he'll probably just ask to pause it again.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
So I think that it has been synced up, and now we can utilize the wirelessness and the freedom that is involved with that.
Yeah.
How do you sit on the wireless, not wireless mouse thing? Because there are a lot of people that are like, no, wired will always just be better. The response time's too low on wireless.
I am a wireless dude. I used to be wired, but then I heard a lot of feedback that wireless really
has gotten better.
Has gotten really good, and I have a wireless, and you know what? it's done me well.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It is annoying having to charge it. I don't have like the charging mouse pad or anything like that. So sometimes it just turns red and then I'm like, oh,
yeah,
this is a bit of a
I have
shame.
the charging mouse pad. It's good.
Oh, that'd be the best.
Yeah, it's so nice.
That's what I need to get. Maybe I can do that. Ask for it for my birthday or for Christmas or something like that. We'll see. All right. Closer now having to watch this inhibitor get sieged as we get back into it. If you guys want a bit of a recap in the state of the game, not great here for the pros, although they're looking for Vikla. The train's now out of the station. Let's see whether they can actually make this one work. Already the Orianna has gone down, but it's a fight on two fronts as Morgan managing to buy so much space. Closer goes in, but Raptor does not go down. Win becomes lightning onto Diablo. That's a big deal, but the follow-up not going to be there. The pros very happy about getting this one pick, but what can they turn it into?
Maybe a 4 out of 10 on the throw ability.
Yeah, we are moving up.
Moving up the scale. Yeah, Vikla a little bit overextended, without Flash, without Zhonya's. They do find the engage. Not super meaningful.
Oh dear. Well, Hype is going to get engaged on here. There's a heroic charge, but it does nothing. Diablo tanks up the turret, though, and it's the Poppy that grabs the kill back. A 1-for-1 trade as both 80 carries bite the dust.
Explosive engage there from Diablo to find that kill. We'll see what comes in. I mean, Closer just finds angle. The follow-up is there. The Nocturnal not enough to disrupt and save. Orianna goes down, but it's just difficult for them to find more in the follow-up. They do get the flash from the Nocturne, but it's traded with the flash from the Akali. You can see Croco trying to get the slow to find more, but again, this Renekton is such a blocker for the team.
Yeah.
And then here, I think this actually ends up favoring, because although, unfortunately, it's Polu who gets the kill gold, 767. Both summoners from Fab will go down here, which is, it's such a small...
It is a something.
But it's something. I will say, though, he has picked up a secret Zomguard now, big safety net, but we now have like a flash advantage in favor of 80 carries. We do have Vikla with a flash advantage, but it's kind of feeling like we're getting to the point of the game where the next fight, assuming it's around Baron, is going to be really impactful. Even if it isn't, if it's around Dragon, next fight's going to be a big one. It's the comeback moment for Bro, or it's probably game over.
That's what I'm feeling as well.
Beating summoners like that really are going to be important. Any scraps we see in the next couple of minutes, any summoners burn, you're going to be held accountable to them. And ultimately, we saw a play there from Dabble that did cost him both. In return for only the barrier from Hype. So we will see if he does come to pay for that.
Yep, 3 items are now done here for Croco. Actually getting to 3 items before his mid laner, which is kind of nutty. 3, 5, and 9 right now. This game kind of hinging on this Xin Zhao.
You have some ornaments being handed out. We did already have...
All right, there is the kill the Corki angle as we do say goodbye to the cow, but we also say goodbye to the Corki. It's bad news for the pros as Polu gets feared and taken out. Bellow's breath not quite doing it here as Croco trying to keep himself alive, and he does so pretty well. Clear goes in, but he doesn't manage to get it, and it's the tower that takes him down, but the rest of the team will just be annihilated. And B&K bring down the wallets and say, sorry everyone, it's a 2-0.
Hype overextended there, gets punished, and this is the sort of composition where you can punish an 80 carry so easily. Remember, they went for the Corki, not Desire in this situation. He's walked up so far. I just don't see how he can fathom going up in that sort of position. Immediately gets punished. The rest of the team scrambling to try and disengage. Gotta give some credit to Croco, because him surviving here was kind of insane, even with the turnaround kill onto Clear. But that's making the best of an atrocious situation for the Bros, and B&K FearX very swift to punish. I will say they're not able to end the game off that, and actually not even able to take the Baron. But we were just talking about how summoners being burned being significant. Hype just lost his flash off the back of that play, and now Dragon's up in 30 seconds, so B&K FearX can just look towards that.
Should be able to pretty comfortably take that one down. See whether the Bros can get themselves set up for a Baron or something. Just have to see. It's not exactly the fastest of Barons here, with the Akali being in the mid lane and Norn towards the top side.
Even the Corki, kind of low DPS compared to other 80 carries. Not much attack speed in the build, so I don't think it's realistic. I don't really think you can leave your half of the map right now. I think
Full Zhonya's completed for Diablo as well.
I think you just give the Dragon, honestly. Scale up a bit more, get out some more ornaments. If they go Baron, you can test that. Yes, it feels bad to give over third Dragon, but I mean, they could just send Kai'Sa there to solo it while they maintain pressure.
It's exactly what they're going to do.
Get some vision in the Baron area? Sure, sure. Do not start that Baron. Oh, no, they're going to start it on. Okay,
It's
okay.
time to start the Baron,
They
everyone.
just send it, you know, why not? Why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a lot of vision here available for BNK FureX, but they can turn off the lights, and the Poppycopter not going to quite find the angle here, as there go the lights that we were talking about, but it's on to Closer, and he's able to get into the Shroud. Morgan tanking things up, but where is the follow-up? Where is the answer? And the answer is, it's nowhere. They're just going to back away. They lose the on-killer instinct here from Diablo. Supercharges himself, flashes forward, and then leaves. No questions asked as Raptor is looking to take down Croco. He flashes, but it's not going to do anything. And B&K just wipe the floor with Pro in this series.
Bro start the Baron, and it is their demise. BNK FureX, we thought it'd be a 2-1. They say no. Managing to close out a 2-0 was a scrappy series, a lot of back and forth. In the end, they're the clear victors in this one and will push themselves to second place in the Rise group.
Yep. 1-2 early games, GigaChat still get 2-0'd here by BNK FureX. Nexus gonna go down, and BNK with a decisive win here, really making this Rise group look interesting, because this was the other team that was vying for that position that Bro currently holds.
And I think as well, you know, with DRX close on the heels, there's still that danger. There's still that fear that maybe the catch-up could come through. Maybe that they could find an opportunity to gain some distance. So, got to be a little bit concerned in that regard.
Yep. And are we okay with that, Palm? I know you're considering, you're doing a little bit of thinking, a little bit of trying to figure out who it's supposed to be. I have no idea, honestly, where my vote would go if I had one.
Yeah. Well,
It's not there, though.
no, I'm rethinking it.
Definitely not where that
I'm
one
rethinking
was.
it. I'm rethinking it.
What are your chat? Let us know. Who's
No, I
POM?
think
We got a Diablo fan.
I think I have it.
Yeah, that might be the way.
I think I have it.
There's a couple of options. I reckon Vikler will get some votes as well. It's his best performance of the season so far.
I think I have it.
But I think, you know, as long as it's not support, I think he'll be okay. In my personal opinion, humble opinion.
I think...
Yeah, the whole Kellen dying unceremoniously
Yeah, I think
was a bit weird.
I think Clay had a good game 2. I think Kellen had a good game 1. I think Raptor had a good game 2. Less so game 1. I think Vikla had a good game 1.
Yeah.
I think Diablo was probably the best over the course of the 2 games.
Yeah, I think Diablo was just good. Although he did die at the beginning of game number 1, some civers just do nothing for the rest of the game after that, and this one just annihilated everyone.
It's a scrappy Rise group series. No one's going to be flawless, right? You know?
Absolutely not.
It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think he was, for me, the most consistent over. But I think there's reasons to vote for a lot of people. You know, Vikla had a really good performance on the Azir, and as much as he did have a rough time in lane, did bounce back on the Orianna, so I can understand that. But yeah, this game, there was a point in it where I was like, you know, as much as I favored the draft from BNK FureX to be more cohesive, there was a point where it looked like it could be a bit doomed. But as soon as Claire joined the team fights, that Renekton was such a presence that I think the Akali just couldn't deal with.
Yep.
This Akali, it just didn't feel like it fit with what the rest of the team wanted to do. The Corki just couldn't really function. There's a lot of times it was targeted, and it was kind of that low. It just felt like a composition that lacked a lot of DPS as well.
It was.
In the mid game, this Renekton could kind of just stand there, and it's like Corki could do how much damage to you? What, like maybe 30–40% with a full combo? And then what? He's just in your face.
And it would have been one of those games where, like you said earlier on, the Xayah could have found a fair bit of value. But maybe just wasn't enough early game power, and they were going to rely on tempo. It's hard to really say. Just felt a little bit incoherent, incohesive on the side of the pros.
I don't think it's never all draft right. I think there was also definitely some mistakes in the game. I do think it put them in a difficult spot, but I also think BNK FureX showed a lot of sort of resolve in this series, because this was a lot of back and forth, a lot of kills, especially in this game. But I think the objective control with this Nocturne, I think even DNF with the Nocturne Orianna showed better proficiency for landing the combo on the right targets. But the objective control and the use of the Nocturne in that way, BNK FureX was so much better there. They really had a good understanding of how to start objectives and then shut down any chance of contesting with the use of that paranoia.
Tell you what though, Clear had a phenomenal game here in game number 2 after one of the most forgettable Rumble experiences that we've ever seen, to then dishing out 28.6k damage. Very, very impressive stuff. In fact, everyone pretty even across the board here for BNK FearX. A lot of damage coming out of Diablo in the end as well on this Kai'Sa. So very interested to see who's going to pick up POM. I do think that, like, I think probably now that I've sat with it for longer and thought about it, it's probably Raptor in my mind, but his game 1 was not the most good. Game 1 was so weird because they spent a lot of it losing. So it's hard to then understand who was the best after that.
I mean, Vikla was the best in game 1.
That's true.
I think Kellen was also really good in game 1. Dabble was decent in game 1.
Yeah.
I think actually Kellen had a really good game 1, but his Alistair was, you know.
Yeah.
But I think game 2, again, like, I think there's argument. I think for me, Dabble was the consistent across the series. But I think if people went Vikla, I think it's completely fair. If people went Raptor, I think it's completely fair.
I'm hoping that there's a smattering of votes all over the place. We are right now going to have a reveal of just who won it.
Yeah.
But afterwards, we'll be able to see exactly where those votes are. And I'm just hoping that they're completely confused and no one has any idea.
I think it's a good series when the votes are a bit all over the place.
It's either a good series or a terrible series. It's one of the two. Because then you're asking the question like, oh, it was all bad and it's illegal to vote for anyone, but I have to vote for someone.
Yeah.
And you can't abstain, which is maybe something we could look at for next season. We're all about change here in the LCK, so maybe that's the change for next
also,
year.
this one's particularly hard because it was a...
Oh, it's Vikla that picks it up.
And I think this is fair. I think this is fair. Again, you know, I thought for me it was Dab, but I think Vikla, his Azir was really good, and he did bounce back in game 2. Yes, he had a rough time early, but he did bounce back, and I think that's significant, so I think completely justified.
And it was his best series of this season by far.
Yeah,
so,
you know, fair play. Deserved win, I would say.
I would agree. I imagine that all of the votes are not going to be going over towards him, but now that I sit here and think about it, I'm happy to flip-flop a third time and agree that Vikla was a great choice.
Yeah.
I think that that just epitomizes
how
this whole series went.
We saw the result, and you know what? We based our analysis on that.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. If only I could have just like thrown to the interview right there, but I can't, it's not ready yet. So we need to get Vikla on stage and get all of that sorted out. But otherwise that would have been a poignant moment to leave it. But sometimes that's just not the way. We're gonna have to find another result of this conversation, Orcs. Which might be a little bit of a preview of what we've got coming up. And that is going to be Nongshim versus Hanwha Life Esports. We'll see, because Hanwha, I mean, this is the easy game of the week, and we'll see whether they can be clean, because they haven't necessarily been clean, and there is a change-up on the Nongshim side. Some spicy noodles.
Very spicy. A little shake-up, which will throw some excitement into that one, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. And so you heard some cheers in the background, I assume. I think that might be Vikla making his way out, and so we are getting closer and closer to this interview. I imagine it took a while to do the calculation or something like that. Maybe there was a tiebreaker in the votes.
Oh, tiebreakers always takes more time. I'm hoping it's like all over the place. Tiebreakers have to happen. Chronicle's crying because of the stress, you know. That'd be the goal.
Now it is time, though, to head over to the interviews. Take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Zir for the POM interview translation. We are here with Vikla on the side of BNK FearX, who just secured a 2-0 victory. Congratulations! You just took down OK Savings Bank Brion, and it's your first POM, which might make you even happier. How do you feel? You know, because all the teams that we're facing are on the similar level. We really wanted to make sure that we win today, and I'm just so happy that I was able to get POM on top of that. And against OK Savings Bank Brion, you guys actually have a dominating head-to-head record. And today's victory marks your 13th win in a row against them. So you must have felt quite confident. How was it? Yeah, so I realized that we had a really good matchup and a really favorable trend. So it just felt like, you know, maybe today we might as well just win again. And actually, in game one, you guys came back from a tough position. And from the start, the enemy at Vi got fed, giving you quite a hard time. So what was the plan to catch up? I think our comp had pretty high value, and we just wanted to play out slow. We knew that our comp had a late game in the end, so I think we just wanted to take our time. And in game 2, you guys went with the Nocturne Orianna comp, which is a pretty frequently used comp lately. And given the Wombo combo is key for this comp, how did you like the Ori Nocturne comp? Yeah, it's really, in the end, it really depends on the team fight, and I think we really enjoyed playing this as a team. And there was actually a dicey moment early mid where Raptor pulled off an amazing save with Nocturne ult. Yeah, I actually noticed that the Kali was about to dive me, and I actually called, and Raptor was actually, he really did have my back. And after the match against Paskia, head coach Ryu said that the main focus will be improving teamfight setups. And you guys today showcased exactly that and came out ahead in teamfights. So what was the practice process like? I think even if we played the game, we wanted to make sure that we can secure some space and make sure that we're able to continue our teamfight pretty aggressively. And yeah, it looks like you guys might have gone through some tough times, and you know that there are fans out there who consistently got your back. Anything you'd like to say? You know, I know that we're giving you guys also hard times, but you know, as you guys keep on watching us and keep on supporting us, I think we'll be able to pay you back with some great performance. And you guys are able to, with that form, secure another victory, and you surpass OK Savings Bank Brion to rise to second place of Rise Group. Anything you would like to say about DRX? I know that DRX isn't going to be an easy opponent, but we'll make sure that we get the victory down to rise even higher. And that's the end of the interview with Vikla, and back to the space. Thank you.